As I promised in my last video, I'm going to work on a bird. This is a picture of a mourning dove I took a few years ago, and he was up in a tree on a limb of a palm tree, and I did it in I can't find my original piece. It's in here somewhere. This is a desaturated copy of the work that I did. I did it in pastels, and I desaturated it because I was thinking about using it for a coloring book, but I've decided I don't want to do any more coloring books. I've done 3. And if you're interested, they're available on Amazon. And I've taken some photographs of the mourning doves because they're in my backyard. I throw seeds on the ground for them because they don't do birds' nests. I printed this off not to use as a reference photo. I won't be drawing from this, but because I wanted a clearer shot of the colors, and I wasn't getting that from my shots outside. And then the other thing I decided I would do is use a toned paper. This is from Mungyo. It's a pastel paper, and this is a rose color, and I thought this will be my mid-tone. I think you can see in the color of the bird, not so much in my reference photo because the color is really very difficult. It's set so far away, but there's pink in it and yellows in it, and obviously tans and dark colors. But this rose is going to be the base color. And I'm going to use this to draw my image. And I haven't gotten all my good stuff out yet. Use a little guy here. This is titanium white. Whee! Figured I can use the titanium work because I'm working on a toned paper. And I'm just spreading it across the whole back. And I'm sure I'm going to have to bring some out of that, but now let me take this over here. This particular tin was broken in transit, so there's a lot of dust, but I have other sets as well. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Okay, let me turn this over. Set it in place. A piece of tape. Okay, that's in place. Excuse me. And where's my pencil? Here's my pencil. I really like this, even though I wasn't able to get as clear or defined a photograph of the mourning dove in this picture, because it was pretty far away from me. But what I like is the position, facing away from me, looking out into the world. Okay, it's taking, that's fine. Tail feathers up. You don't normally see the tail feathers. But this was really a very lucky photograph that I don't remember the name of. It's a tint. It is ultramarine blue tint. Okay. The white orange tint, sienna tint, the black, and the umber tint. Black eye, here we go. Take a little bit of this tip here, blend it in. I'm not sure if I shouldn't have turned this paper over. This is the rougher side. I always prefer to work on the smoother side, but I may have to do a lot more layering. Okay, and let me get that light here. Now the eye's not complete. I'm just laying it in there first. And the same for the beak. And blend that in. Now, this isn't the first time I've used tone paper, but it's the first time that I'm using tone paper as a mid-tone in my color, so the whole thing's an experiment for me. Obviously, I'm used to using, look at my playlist, I'm used to using white on black and using the black as my dark tone, and in this case I'm using this as my mid-tone. And I've worked with grays and whites on top of toned papers, and I've worked with colors on top, and I've used the ideas that that's the background, but it is not my, there we go. This is a Monotobo Zero Eraser. So this is a first for me. Thank you for joining me. Okay. Now, this will sort of stay the same. And if it doesn't work out that way, it won't work out that way. I am going to start with, and I have lots of replacement sponges. I'm going to start with, make sure that's clean. You clean these by wiping them off. Now get the pale orange on the head. It's a little bit lighter than the paper. Now we've reached the fast forward portion of this video, and this is the portion where I apply the Pan Pastels to the body of the Mourning Dove. It's really fun to work with the tail feathers of the mourning dove. I don't often get a photo of a bird where I get to have that perspective so that you can see the fine feathers of the underwing and the underbelly and the undertail. And now I'm moving on to the background, first with the blue tint for the sky, and then working with the greens and the umbers to create the branches and the leaves and the dried twigs. Let me stand back from this. Open it up a little bit more. Alrighty. The paper's starting to wear under my use, so I can feel some of it picking up. I think I have to call this finished. I have enough contrast. I'm going to come back in with the underbelly here and lighten that up a bit. And that'll give me more contrast. Adding the white will increase the contrast. here. Step back again. Ugh, which means stand up and look through the camera. Let's bring that in. Oh yeah, the contrast is much improved. Now please keep in mind that I have long since given up the notion of creating photorealism. This is naturalist. It's a mourning dove. It's obvious it's a mourning dove. But I'm not concerned that I'm doing photorealism or hyperrealism or anything like that. It's naturalist. And I'm trying to add a little bit of character and humor to my work, a little sense of whimsy if I can. So I'm going to stare at this a little bit longer and see where I can do that. And let me look at my reference photo and see where I think I can do that. Yeah, I see that. Okay. I'm going to make the eye larger and look up more. And then this area here. Let me bring in the magenta. Tiny, tiny little smirky thing here. There we go. Look, we've got a little smile. That makes me feel better. I think in the end I like my work to look like it's a fantasy, even though it's a real thing. Okay, I am going to spray this with a fixative. I use a couple of different ones. The one I'm going to use today is the Degas fixative. I have it transferred to this mister here because it's a finer spray than this is. And I'll do that when we're done because I have to clear everything out of the way before I spray it and make sure that there's a lot of ventilation going on. Okay, let me take, and then it will darken everything. This is what happens when you spray with the fixative. No matter what the fixative, it is going to darken everything a little bit. So after I do that, I'll show you what it looks like. But I do like the humor in this piece. That's very important to me. So I shall return